Well, welcome to the Kinected Podcast, where we shine a spotlight on the incredible members of our connected community. I'm Brent Fessler, your host, and each episode we are diving into the stories, the expertise, and the passion of the innovators and the entrepreneurs and the change makers who make Kinected so special. So our goal is to inspire collaboration, to spark new connections, and to drive business opportunities within our community here at Kinected. Now, today, we are thrilled to introduce Stephen Dyer, who is with HighSpring and executive search and staffing. And so we're going to get to know Stephen. So let's get started.
Thanks, Brent. Good to be here.
I'm so glad you're here, Stephen. I've known you for years.
Yep.
You've been like on my short list since we opened Kinected. I was like, I'm going to get a T-shirt, by the way, that says "work with your friends." Yeah, and that's what I wanted to hear at Kinected. And so you've been like, man, I need a Stephen Dyer here. Stephen, you got to come work over here.
Yeah,
got an office for you.
I'm glad it worked out finally.
And because I know I'm a better person when I'm around Stephen. So, but man, thanks so much for being on the podcast today. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey to where you are today in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So the business world I've always been in has been providing people to other businesses in some capacity. Mm-hmm. So I came out of college, went to A&M, studied finance and English, and went to a big management consulting company. So we were providing large teams to solve companies' problems across the country. And after a stint there, had an entrepreneurial stint providing one in wind energy and cattle, and then finally construction. And construction was actually really similar. And then we were providing a different type of talent, labor, and expertise to build spaces. But my real passion was getting back into really kind of business operations, and joined a company here in San Antonio called Aventine Hill over 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So came on not as a consultant anymore, but on the business development side. So before that, I'd gone out on my own to be a consultant. Single shingle, was by myself, and quickly found out that time does not scale. I think a lot of people that are kind of
just work a little harder, work a little longer.
Yeah. The only thing I could do is work later each day. And so the owner of Aventine Hill found me and said, "You're good at finding work, but I can help you scale it by providing the consultant." So it was a staffing business with a consultative bent. And so I got into sales, and I'd always thought pretty low of sales people. I didn't think that it was an expertise, like only people that weren't smart went into sales. But I really found what I found was I was already connecting people. I love to have coffee, help somebody think through something, and then connect that person to the right expertise. And so my boss at the time said, "Just do that. Don't sell. Just try to connect people." So I found that was really, if I just tried to not sell, but just try to make connections, then the sales came. So I did that for 5 years as an individual contributor. Aventine Hill sold to Vaco, and then I was put in charge of the San Antonio office. So I led the Vaco San Antonio office for 5 years, and then a year ago stepped into our parent company in a national executive search role. So now I help companies add to their leadership team by adding C-suite members, and so I'm working all over the country doing that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You have to remember people's names and things.
Yep.
We
have systems for that.
Yeah, well, that's good, because I need those systems, because I'm like, hey,
bro,
how's it going? We need name tag day at Kinected, because it's growing enough that it's that, hey, how's it going? So with that, like, talk to me about what inspired you to join the Kinected community, and what brought you here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I stepped out of my Vaco role into this national role. And so what I wanted to still collaborate with my former team, but I didn't want the old boss sitting in the office over in the corner looking over everybody's shoulder. So I need to give them some space. But in particular, the reason why I stepped out of there...
That's very noble of you, by the way, because a lot of folks are like, hey, I kind of like the control.
Yeah, I do too. And so that's why I had to force myself out. because I knew that I would easily get offended with changes, and I want to be able to hold my tongue with my opinion.
That was my project that you're getting rid of. That was
it's very special to me. So, and I needed to be totally focused on what I'm doing now. So without that distraction, I wanted a place that was that was a good culture fit, and I didn't arrive to that right away. Actually, our corporate office had a partnership with one of the kind of the mega regional temporary office spaces, all over the country, and said, you need to go find one of those. That didn't work out for whatever reason, just kind of kept running into walls. And what I was really looking for in all of those as I toured them was, where is a place where I can build community, not necessarily always just do business, but where is there a good culture fit? And I always knew that you were here, but I was kind of following the corporate guidelines a little bit too much. So I finally just said, you know what, I'm going to go over. I'm just going to ask, can I try it out, and can I sit in Kinected? And when I came over here and toured, I found a place of collaboration and good culture. So kind of came up with 3 C's, like culture, coffee, and contacts. Right. So
some people are going live for coffee and caffeine.
Yeah, not necessarily in that order.
And corn chips. I don't know.
Corn chips.
Yeah.
But the culture here was exactly what I was looking for. And from people that wanted to support one another, people that were not just looking out for each other's business, but looking out for each other's souls, emotions, just everybody's personality. The coffee's fantastic. Tres Coffee. And
shout out to Tres Coffee.
There it is. There it is. Best coffee in town. Come on by. And then, but the business contacts are important too. I think to pretend that doesn't matter. We're all in some kind of business. I mean, it's really, really key. So the companies that are here, is a great tapestry of different types of businesses that I want to come in contact with regularly. So I really appreciate the diversity of companies here and people that not just are officed here, but are coming through Kinected, like C12 or BLE or San Antonio Manufacturing Association. There's a lot of great leaders that are coming through the building that maybe don't even office here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's what landed for you. I hope that's what lands for other people, and want them to know that it's more than like when you're evaluating your co-working space. It should be more about more than just, hey, they've got a nice piece of furniture. And a nice location and some decent caffeine. Yeah. And what I found personally, and I think others eventually find, is that the environment, the deeper environment, the people that I'm around, you might call it a vibe, but it's just everywhere you look, there's good people doing good things or even great things around here.
Agreed.
And we tend to rise to the environment or fall to the environment that we're choosing to be in. Yeah. And as grown-ups, as professionals, you don't always get to choose a lot of things, but we do have more choice on where we work than we probably give ourselves credit for. So we wanted this to be a place that people could choose to come to flourish like that. And so I'm glad you're finding those relationships. Having you here is one of those, like, oh, Steven's here. That's actually our primary selling point now. Is like, oh, Steven Dyer works here. I'm like, oh, well, sign me
the same thing about you. I mean, I really go back to the. It was kind of one of those aha moments. I just thought, why am I looking anywhere else? I have a friend that runs a co-working space. Why don't I just go over there? And I think going back to what you said was, I want to be in a place where there's just friendships that you can't go into business with all your friends as much as we want to. Right. But if you can office near them, then that's kind of the best of both worlds. You don't get in fights over partnership. That's right. You get to be in proximity.
They're not, late delivering their TPS report or anything like that. Right. Well, tell us a little bit about your core business. So what's the mission? Unique value of what you're working on, the problem that you're solving right now for your clients. Yeah,
sure. So HighSpring does a lot of things. So we describe ourselves as a professional services company, solving companies' most critical issues with the intent of driving enterprise value up. We divide our solutions into a couple different buckets. So managed service, so outsourcing a department, management consulting, providing a big deliverable or kind of research project. Talent solutions, so that's providing staffing. That's providing people on an interim basis if there's a surge of kind of work capacity it's needed, either through some compliance issue, it's increased work volume, or just somebody left, need to provide an interim. And then executive search, which is kind of a mix of the management consulting and the talent side. So I'm in the executive search side of the business. And I think one of the unique value propositions of HighSpring is there's a lot of companies that do one of those things. But the way that we try to frame it is we're able to, one, provide a bespoke mix of any of those different solutions. But really, we can also, we transform organizations first by providing new leaders. So that's executive search side. So that's kind of the tip of the spear. Yeah. Then we can help those new leaders through consulting projects kind of deliver on the mission or the charge that they're given. That can be supply chain, ERP implementation, process improvement, all sorts of things. And then do you need people to help with those implementations? A lot of times there's, unfortunately, just in the short term, unfortunately, but in the long term, increase enterprise value and just changing over some people that you need to drive a new mission.
Yeah.
So you kind of hit on all those buckets. So that's a differentiator for us. I'm on the executive search side. So, I was on the consulting side, was on the staffing side. And over time, I just ended up having a lot of conversations with leaders who would call me for a solution, but then would ask me for advice on hiring or leaving jobs. And so a lot of times I just became kind of supposed to be a management consulting salesperson, but then became kind of a career coach. So that pushed me into the executive search side. Within executive search, it really comes down to a process. We have about a 90 to 100-day process to find a new leader that begins with about 30 days of research, just finding out where do we find people that a company wants. Then we go kind of through a heavy recruiting effort. And then we're kind of managing the dating process between a company and then a couple candidates. And our goal is to have 2 or 3 candidates that a company has a really hard time choosing between. And that's usually our biggest problem is we don't know which one to choose. There's no candidate that checks every single box. So normally choosing between kind of 90% candidates. And so then it's really helping in a consultative way, helping a company figure out what are the most important things. And so you kind of make them choose. And so those are some of our differentiators at an enterprise level, and then kind of our process on the search side. So
I'm just picking the right person is only part of it, like understanding how to bring a new executive in in that process. Is that something that you guys get involved in?
Yeah,
as
sure.
Well?
Yeah, it's at the executive level. Good executives have choices, and so you're every company leader thinks their company is special and the most special, and it is in a way, but you're competing with another company who thinks that they're the most special, and so at that level, you're really trying to coach executives on how to be part of the process to kind of woo somebody to the vision that you have and to really help them sell, and to be decisive, because time kills all deals. That's not just on the sales side of your company, that's also on the talent side. Right. I've probably seen more leaders who are heartbroken by really good talent getting away more than a deal getting away. Yeah. Because they think the thing that I have to coach companies on is when they say, hey, I'm really interested in that candidate, but can you keep them warm? That's not a real thing. Yeah. I can do my best, but there's another company who's saying, let's go right now. And there's a perception that I can't see that, so that's not happening. So I'm always trying to push companies forward without coming across too salesy, like I'm just trying to close the deal.
Right.
But time kills all deals, so I'm trying to push clients to make a decision.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, staying where you're at is often the most comfortable thing.
Yep.
So within Kinected, you haven't been here like terribly long. I think probably 3 or 4 months now.
Yep.
Have you collaborated with other Kinected members, and how'd that come about, and what happened?
I've not collaborated with members who are here yet.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of conversations in the hallways of just discovering a number of businesses that are here that I didn't even know there were those types of businesses. You introduced me to one that I didn't realize was a business. We had a family member who we lost, and we were overwhelmed by all the processes and things that we had to do. And you told me there's a consultant here who helps families through the grieving process, not just through the emotional side, but just kind of all the estate and probate and all the things that you hope are done, but normally aren't.
Yeah.
And so just kind of project managing that. So that was helpful to even know that there was a business like that. The other thing that where my office is up front, the other thing that I've probably gotten just as much benefit out of is just seeing all the people that are coming through. It's probably every other day somebody knocks on my window and says, "Can I come in?" and says, "Hey, I didn't know you were here. Can we get together?" And so there's people coming in from the city all the time. So I think being on the first floor at the front is the best spot to be.
Yeah.
So anybody that's looking, that's like the prime spot.
Doesn't need to get a bunch of work done all the time.
That's right.
If you need to get work done, you got to go find your quiet corner.
In the people business, it's helpful to be up front.
For sure. For sure. But Kinected's got lots of spaces where you can go hide if you need to. So let me know. I can find you a closet back in the corner. I mean, that's great. I think a lot of the collaboration that happens here is not necessarily the primary business sales objective or those things. Sometimes it is a lot of the other things around the business, whether it just be general relationships or even on the personal side.
Yep.
I've seen you engage in that. You naturally engage in the personal side. It's part of what makes you a strong executive search, I think, is because you understand more than the knowledge, skills, abilities list and go deeper into what we might call culture or values, or just understanding the purpose, reason, and going deeper in those things. So I think those things don't always make it onto a KPI dashboard or something, but we call those success stories here.
Yep.
And want to be that a place of a strong corporate culture that maybe a small business or an individual doesn't have, or don't have the capacity to build what a larger organization might be able to invest in.
Yep.
With having good people around, having a good the art, the cafe, the chaplains, all the things that we try to make available here.
Somebody should start a business with like core values and KPIs and measuring that.
Oh yeah,
that'd be brilliant.
That'd be brilliant. We'll get that guy on the show here sometime.
Yeah, somebody should interview him.
Don't get me started on my button. But so how do you see your work contributing to the broader goals here at of the Kinected community? And
yeah. I don't know this for sure, but I don't think that many of the businesses here are probably going to look to engage in a big retained executive search. Maybe, but probably a third of the conversations I have on a weekly basis are really just talking about hiring strategy, people, culture, and so I love to have those conversations. So it's either a company trying to figure out, what do I do with this problem? Hiring somebody isn't always the solution. It's not always the easy button. I mean, there's always a mix of people, process, and technology in any business problem. So always happy to just kind of think through that. And I think with a consulting background, I see those systems pieces and the process pieces, and then I can fit people into that if needed. So I think that's the main thing. It's just collaboration. If you're trying to think through how strategy and people mix, love to spend time with somebody just kind of figuring out problems, because that's really what we're doing at the end of the day. And I mean, when I'm engaged, half the job is finding the people. The other is just kind of all the amorphous things around a role and a person, and the intrigue of kind of a C-suite team, all the movement. And so just thinking through that, we're never putting somebody into just a clean vacuum. There's always a reason why somebody's coming in, that's somebody left or some problem or some new strategy that you're hoping that they help accomplish. So just thinking through that is probably where, love to engage with people.
I think that's great, because a lot of small business folks, owners, team members, it's less about, man, can I really put together as perfect of a team or as strong of a team as I can to win this championship? And it's more, somebody said yes, to join the team.
Yep.
And you just kind of take the first yes as the indicator.
Yep.
And I know me personally as an educator, I want to think that I can cultivate and develop anybody and try to make anybody fit.
Yep.
But there's an important aspect to that. But that totally misses out on if I'm trying to shove the wrong person continually into the wrong role or the wrong organization, everybody's going to be miserable in that. And just learning the patience and the strategy of finding the right people for the right teams.
I see leaders either, like you're saying, hiring way too fast, the classic hire too fast, fire too slow, or just not pulling the trigger at all. In one of my previous roles, I pulled the trigger too fast because I just wanted to execute on, strategy of hiring somebody and getting them in the role. Yeah. And I hired 5 different people over 4 years for this role, and I finally found the right person. But if I think back over those 4 years, if I just taken maybe 9 months to find the right person rather than a week, like I found somebody that's going to say yes. Yeah. I can check that box. Well, I never truly checked the box because they never were successful. And so there's either analysis paralysis or hiring too fast. Rarely does a leader create a system to vet people and just be patient for that right person to come. So a lot of times if they don't want to do that, that's where we jump in. But but that's where, I can help somebody think through that process.
That's such a great lesson to learn from your experience in that. So I want to shift into maybe the fun and engaging part of the conversation. If you could have any connected member as a mentor or collaborator, who would you choose and why?
A couple different ones. Maybe Corey Kyle Interiors. My office is very bland.
Yeah.
And I could use some pops of color.
Yeah.
So that would be one. I'm not saying this to decrease my rent, but I love spending time with you. I think what you're doing on the culture space and then what I'm doing on kind of the search space, there's just a lot of overlap there, and probably how we view culture and people and the problems we're trying to solve and the ways we wish leaders would think about culture and problems and how that affects hiring. And so I love talking to you about those types of things. Yeah. And then I was looking at all the businesses that are here, and the one that I would love to know more about is Bike Fit Papa.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I don't know what Bike Fit Papa does, but I love the name.
Raymond Slush.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find just about anything at Kinected. So
Raymond, I'm coming.
Yeah, Raymond, if you've got a high-end road bike and you're traveling 100 miles on that bike, you've got to have that thing fit like just right, or else you're going to break your body. Yeah. And so Raymond focuses on that. He's got like the lasers and all the crazy stuff to fit, customize you. It's just like you're trying to customize those executives to fit the company. He does the same thing for your rear end on a bike.
There you go. I love it.
Bike Fit Papa. Yeah. Things you would just expect in any co-working space.
Yeah.
That was That's awesome. So that's great. So we'll work on getting some color in your office. What's something surprising or unique about you that most people in the connected community might not know?
Yeah, great question. One of the things I love about Kinected is the art. It's not just business. There's also a strong art community here. So my first job in downtown Houston, this big consulting firm, I wanted to show my mom my office. And so I took her top of this tower and we walked in and there was gray cubes and white walls. And she just looked around and she said, well, honey, where's all the art? Like, Mom, we don't do art. Like, we're consultants. We're finance people and technology people. And she was like, well, what about beauty? Like, that would really help the work. And my mom's an artist. So I suppressed the artist in me when I was younger, but as I've grown and I've really seen the influence of my mom on me and how art adds to all of life, beauty adds to all of life, and especially in kind of the business world.
Yeah.
And so I love the art here. And it's a long-winded way of saying I'm an artist at heart. I ended up getting a finance degree, but that's not really what I'm wired for. So that's just kind of my technical skill set.
How come you haven't submitted anything to our art exhibit?
So it's in time.
Okay.
In time. So I grew up doing a lot of watercolor. In the last couple of years, have picked up oil painting, and painting portraits.
Cool.
So that's what I'm not great at it, but trying to figure it out. And it's like my most favorite state of flow. So if I can get all my family kind of quiet and chores done, if I can get an hour of painting, kind of my joy in life.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Looking forward to seeing some of that art here in person. Yeah. So if your business had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Yeah. If my work had a theme song, told you this before we get started, there's kind of two songs that I would maybe mash together if I had a good DJ. One would be Ross King, Clear the Stage. And so really for me, that's just, there's been so many times where if you go look at the lyrics of that, it's basically like clear everything off the stage except for Jesus. And so that's just what I've always tried to put at the forefront of my work and how I treat people and how I sell and how I serve. And when I get in the way and I get puffed up, then things just don't go well. Yeah. And when it becomes about Stephen, I just make poor choices. Yeah. And so never done anything that's been super bad, but there's just things that I just go, man, I could have done that better if I was seeking to give glory to God and not to myself. So that's one, clear the stage. And then the other is, part of my role is I've got to go find work. I've got to sell. And so the other one is John Bon Jovi, Blaze of Glory. And so sometimes I just feel like I gotta, that's right. I feel like I just like got to go out kind of like in a Jesus way. I got to like gunsling and just get out there and
leave it all on the court.
Waking up weary, sleeping on my coat. And it's like, being in a business development role, it's kind of feast or famine. Yeah. And so you kind of got to keep that famine mindset to kind of keep things going. And really what kind of drives me is going, no matter how well things are going, who can I go serve today? And go do that with some passion. That's
one of our rally cries on the team side here at Kinected is being hungry for more.
Yeah.
So ready for more and hungry for more.
Yep.
Well, how can the Kinected community connect with you to learn more or to explore potential collaborations?
Yeah. So primary is my email. So stephen.dyer@highspring.com. LinkedIn is probably where most people find me. Yeah. So linkedin.com/Stephen M. Dyer.
All right.
It's probably the easiest way
Stephen
to find
PH.
me. Stephen with a PH. Yeah. PHEN.
All right.
Yeah.
And are there any specific projects or services or anything that you're offering around here besides just your ear and being able to offer some helpful advice?
Absolutely. Doors always open, offer advice. Yeah. And if a company is at a point where they're thinking, I need help bringing on an executive, I'm happy to have that conversation to see if there's a good way we can partner.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah.
Well, that is a wrap for today's episode of the Kinected Podcast. Huge thank you to Stephen Dyer with High Spring for sharing their incredible story and insights with us. So if you're inspired to connect with Stephen or to explore collaboration opportunities, you can reach him at Stephen.Dyer@Highspring, just like he said. I don't know if there's a dot in there, but he's also on the first floor. There's a dot. Yeah. There we go. And to our connected community, keep building those connections and keep driving impact. We are really better together. And to learn more about Kinected, you can go to www.kinected.work. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast for more inspiring stories. And we'll catch you next time.